Growing up, what did your dad mean to you as a basketball player and as a young black kid in St. Louis?
Growing up, he was the first person to put a basketball in my hand. He started teaching me how to play basketball as early as I can remember, and and just continued as I was growing up, and as one of the biggest reasons, why I am the basketball player and the man I grew into. So, it was there from the beginning.
When you say that you're the man that you are now because of your dad, what were some life lessons that he taught you growing up that instilled in you now that you carry with yourself?
Really, obviously he had a kid. He had me when he was 18, 19, and I had my son when I was 19. And the thing I learned most was just, being honest. He told me all the time he wasn't perfect. He was learning as he went. Obviously he was young. So I think that's what, I took most is, nobody's perfect. Nobody parents the perfect way. But, just for me, just be there for your kid and, just support him and love him. That's all that you can do. And, you figure the rest out as you go.
Justin, seeing Jayson grow up and having a kid at an early age and also being a superstar that he was at an early age, what was something that you continuously told him over and over again? Maybe something that you told him already as a kid?
Like similar like what he said, like just be involved with him, love him, love your son, and like you create a situation that you probably was unexpected, and but at the end of the day you want to make the best out of it because he's seen me and my involvement every day with him coming on up into today, and the way he's with Deuce now. It's like it's on steroids, and I love to see it in the way he's involved with them and how they love and be around each other. It's just a testament of if I did anything right, it was to make sure that you be involved and love your son and daughter however however much you can.
Now, Jayson, for you growing up in U City and the type of environment that you had to grow up with, being from U City in St. Louis, how was your dad on you as a kid? Was he tough on you? Was he outside the basketball court? Did he ride you a little bit harder than you wanted to?
Man, he was like the meanest person ever when I was growing up, especially like discipline and especially with basketball. Like my dad coached at Sodan for like 6 years. So from like when I was in 4th grade until 9th or 10th grade. So I used to practice with him 4 to 5 times a week, when I was in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade. And he would treat me like I was in high school. So if I messed up, he was harder on me than he was the other kids. And like I used to cry every day on the way home. If he took me home or if he dropped me off with my mom, I used to cry every day. I used to basically almost quit basketball every day because of him. But now I think about it, he was young. I tell him all the time he ain't had no patience for real. But he challenged me every day, and he saw the potential in me before I saw it in myself. So just having him being that tough on me in basketball really made me tougher, tougher person on and off the court.
Would you change anything about your dad's coaching style back in the day?
No, I mean at the time I would have, but now I appreciate it because obviously I am where I am today. And that has a lot to do with it. He could have been soft and made excuses for me when I was playing 2 or 3 grades up, but he never did. And, he always just made me figure it out. I never played with kids my age until like my last year of AAU when, everybody was the same age. So, I mean, it worked. It was some tough times, when I was growing up where, I'd be like, man, I hate you and I quit. But it worked, and I'm happy for it.
Now, and you talk about tough times. Was there ever one time outside of the basketball court, growing up in St. Louis, in the type of world that we're in right now, where you had an instance where it was something that your dad taught you as a kid, where you were like, man, I'm glad he taught me this, and I'm glad he told me about this when I was a kid because I'm able to handle this situation right now?
It's so many different moments. Can you hear me? Yeah, it's so many different moments. And like a lot of people don't know, like anytime I didn't have school, I would go down to Sodan with him and I would spend the day down there. Or I would always go to practice. So I went to every game. I went to every football game. And Sodan was off Delmar and Union, like it's right in the city. And like, I just being honest, I saw a lot, with being with those kids and that environment, like some good, some bad, some life lessons and things that like I always remember, whether I was 8 or 9 or 10, just, every little thing. And we would always talk about it, leaving or in the car, like, what did I see? Or, like, this is the real world, like a lot of people don't know what it's like for kids, in the city of St. Louis. And even though I didn't live down there, I was down there every day. And, I just got to see a lot of things that, maybe people see or hear on TV, but like I actually, got to see it.
Now, Justin, for you, hearing him talk about these experiences and knowing that he had to deal with some of that stuff when he was a kid and he would be exposed to it, why was it important for you to tell him about the world and how it is today at such an early age?
It was very important because we didn't want to shelter him from anything that was real, but we didn't want to put him in harm's way at all. So like he was, instead of coming out to St. Charles League, we put him down and let him play in the Wolves. And like he said, come down there with me at Soldan. And his mom was very involved with things down there, and his grandpa and grandmother. So we never wanted to shelter Jayson from the real world. And so as he was going through those things, playing football at Matthew Dickey and, U City, so he was always active and involved with kids, not just in his neighborhood or the school that he went to, that he got a good look at the all-around culture of St. Louis. And so it was very important for me because I knew coming on up that I wanted him to be tough. And at that time, I was like, man, you light-skinned, light-skinned boys get differently. You got to come on in here and, you got to be tough. And it's like, guys going to test you. And so, like, just put him in an environment, and he got the respect and got his confidence up on and off the court. And it was just, as a dad, I'm like, I didn't intentionally made it, to go that way because that was my job, my ongoing things at that time. So my son was, was going to be with me hanging out, but I'm glad he got a chance to experience that and see where he could be going and then where he's on his way to. So that was definitely a good lifelong experience for him.
And Jayson, for you, you can answer this question, and if you choose not to, I understand. I know how your fan base can be, but you've been pretty vocal about everything that's going on right now. For you as a young athlete, why was it important to be vocal?
Just using my platform. Everybody can speak out, but obviously, whether it be just being public and being seen, or using Instagram or social media, knowing I have millions and millions of followers and people that value or tune into things that I say. And I tell people all the time, yeah, I'm famous, but I've been a regular normal black man in America much longer in my life than I have been, quote unquote, a famous basketball player. So I have a lot of similar stories that every black man in America has, dealing with social injustice or in the work community or with the police. So just being able to speak out and share my story and feel the pain of others, and just being somebody that can use their voice to unite people and bring people together and bring awareness to what's going on in the world.
When Deuce gets older and he, say 20 years from now, and he looks back and he says, Jayson, Dad, what was 2020 all about? And then he sees videos of you and he sees videos of Brad. What do you want him to remember about you most from 2020, and just about you most importantly as a dad?
First of all, 2020, hopefully it get better, because it's been off to a terrible start. But just for him to know that his dad stood for something, that he was on the right side of history, that he used his platform, used his voice for change and for the better, and hopefully this sparks awareness and brings change. Obviously, nothing's going to change overnight, but hopefully 20 years from now, Deuce, things, the world will be a much better place, for him and other kids, his age and that look like him to live in.
3 final questions, and I'll get you guys out of here. Justin, for you, seeing Jayson speak up, seeing him do the things he's doing, and for being a great example for his son Deuce, how does that make you feel?
I have no words for it. It speaks volumes of like, you know, what he can do with his voice and his platform. So like, I'm so proud of him. I mean, I can't tell him every day. I would love to, you know what I'm saying? It means so much for me to hear him, you know, speak out and, you know, speak his voice and stand for something and stand for us. So I love it. I mean, I'm here to change young men's lives when I coach and teach and things like that. He can, you know, help change the world. So that's huge.
And Jayson, for you, can you just explain what it was like growing up as a young Black man in America and how thankful you are to have your dad on this Father's Day?
Yeah, you know, I'm very thankful just because, you know, growing up in America and growing up in St. Louis, I had a lot of friends whose dad were no longer living or that they didn't know or, you know, were in jail, whatever the case may be. You know, so I'm just thankful that I had my dad in my life to guide me and, you know, kind of show me how to be a man in his own way. Like I said, there's no guideline or textbook way to be a parent, but, you know, everybody's way is different. And, you know, I wouldn't change anything. I love the way that I turned out and our relationship in my life. So I'm very grateful for that.
All right, and final question that I have for you, I got to ask you, we see you've been golfing a lot lately. Any tips for new golfers, and you want to talk about how your golf game is going?
Man, I'm a natural. I'm an athlete. So
I thought you was talking about me. I've been on the golf course too. That's, you know, I can't wait to get back home so I can sit up here and work him a little bit. But my bad, you was talking to him.
It's all good. I figured he'd get you a basketball now, so golf may be the only thing you can get him at now.
I might be struggling. He's, you know, he has a professional golf instructor. I'm out here listening to the homies, you know what I'm saying? Tell me I'm hitting too far to the left, to the right. So it's a little different. He might
So Jayson, if you could put your golf game on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rank yourself right now?
10 being like Tiger Woods?
Yeah. 1 being Charles Barkley, 10 being Tiger Woods.
Like, I feel like I could have competed with like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and those guys, or like right under them. But I just started playing like a month ago, but I've been consistently getting instructions 4 to 5 times a week. I just got my new clubs that I ordered. They came in yesterday, so I finally got all my gear. And, I'm ready.
So if the basketball season doesn't resume, we may be able to see you on the PGA Tour one day.
Yeah, I like the celebrity golf tournament, something like that.